Tonight on KGW News.
Look at this. Holy sh**.
A storm stirs up a possible tornado in Clark County. Plus, Portland firefighters now suiting up in bulletproof vests.
Quite honestly, I think it's a long time coming.
And Oregon State researchers point to one practice that could go a long way to reducing the risk of wildfire.
The only way to fight fire is with more fire.
We start tonight with severe weather that spawned a small tornado in Battleground. This is video from weather photographer Tyler Mode. You can see the rotation in the sky. This happened right about 7 o'clock tonight. Then the storm gets closer and moves right in front of his camera.
The first thing I noticed was you could hear the trees snapping, and I'm not sure how big they were and where exactly they were falling. And then in the video, you can see the wind pick up very dramatically.
Wow. Well, there are no reports of major damage, and our photographer found a lot of branches down and one large tree that fell into some power lines. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino with more on the storm. Matt, what a day in the weather.
Yeah, pretty wild, Laurel. We had the rain, of course, but this, of course, tops it all. Tyler gets a lot of great video and pictures of weather around the Northwest. Great to see. All right, let me show you Doppler radar. This is from 7 o'clock till about 8:30, and it was not a very big cell. There it goes, right across the heart of Clark County, the northern end of Battleground. The Doppler part of this shows the wind. I'm not showing you that, but it shows twisting in the wind. And so this tornado was actually indicated on Doppler radar as this went on through. So the National Weather Service issued a severe thunderstorm warning for that as it moved on by. We've got more video for you of this as well, because there was a lot of it and it was really cool. Check this out. This is from another viewer up in Clark County, and you can clearly see the circulation going around with that tornado as it moved on through. What will happen next is this, because this happened right around, well, after sunset. The National Weather Service, they'll always go out and do a storm survey when there's a tornado in the area, and judging by the damage, they can tell how strong the winds were, and that's how they assign a classification to the tornado. So here's what we know about this tornado. It was shown on Doppler radar, lots of reports and public reports and video of it indicating a tornado. The storm survey will happen tomorrow, of course, during daylight. They'll be able to tell how strong it was. It was likely an EF0 tornado. What an EF0 tornado is this. On the Fujita scale, winds between 65 and 85 miles an hour. So again, likely a weak tornado, but we'll be able to tell from the damage once we get to survey out there during daylight hours tomorrow. Laurel, back to you. We look forward to hearing more about that and also about our weather for tomorrow a little bit later on. Thank you, Matt. And thanks to all of you who shared your video of the storm tonight. We appreciate it. You can send photos and video to us at newstips@kgw.com. Submit them through your KGW app or just find us on Facebook. Now to new developments in a deadly police shooting that happened early today in Happy Valley. Tonight we learned it was a 26-year-old Hillsborough man who a Clackamas County deputy shot and killed during a traffic stop. Mike Benner has more, including an account from a witness.
The remnants of a road flare in the middle of Southeast 145th Avenue in Happy Valley. The only sign of the deadly shooting that happened here just hours earlier. KGW has learned that around 2 o'clock Monday morning, near Southeast 145th and King Road, deputies tried stopping a pickup truck with no license plates. Authorities say the driver, later identified as 26-year-old Nathan Honeycutt of Hillsborough, did not stop or respond to the lights and sirens. Deputies were told set up spike strips that the pickup truck drove over before rolling to a stop near Southeast 145th and Ridgecrest Road. According to detectives, as deputies tried taking Honeycutt into custody, he pulled out a gun. That's when a deputy shot him.
Stuff like that doesn't generally happen in this area.
That's the voice of a woman who's lived in the neighborhood for almost 2 decades. She agreed to speak with us as long as we concealed her identity.
Abruptly heard the cars stop. The sirens stopped, but I could see the lights. And so I opened up my window. And then when I looked out, I heard shouting and commotion. It sounded like there was an altercation. And then within about 10 to 20 seconds or so, then there was 3 shots fired.
Authorities tell us deputies tried saving Honeycutt's life, but those efforts were unsuccessful, and Honeycutt died at the scene. Investigators say the truck he was driving had been stolen in Portland. The district attorney's office has identified Jansen Bento, Sam Tharp, and Matt Roach as the deputies involved in this incident. We can tell you the Clackamas County Major Crimes Team is teaming up with the Clackamas County District Attorney's Office to investigate this deadly shooting. We'll be sure to pass along any new developments as we get them. Reporting in Clackamas, I'm Mike Benner for KGW News.
That deputy shooting comes as Portland had another violent weekend. Police responded to 16 shootings. 1 man is dead and 10 people are hurt. One shooting happened during the day yesterday on Northeast Fremont and MLK. Police didn't say much about it except that someone under 18 got hurt. That victim was taken to the hospital. A family that runs a restaurant nearby says it's time for city leaders to act.
It's really unsafe. Come up with a plan or something, to make the community better, make the people feel more safe.
This shooting adds to the more than 900 Portland has seen so far this year. For context, there were fewer than 400 in 2019. On Sunday morning, 3 people outside a Northeast Broadway bar were shot and taken to the hospital. And on Friday, someone shot into a pizza place on Northwest 21st and Gleason, hurting 2 people and killing 34-year-old Jacob Knight Vasquez. Police have not found any of the shooters. When police respond to any call, they're wearing bulletproof vests. And soon, Portland firefighters will also have that option. Catherine Cook shows us why crews push for that extra layer of protection.
Putting out fires, emergency medical calls, high-angle rescues. Portland firefighters have always had a dangerous job. And there's something else.
The first responders, as they go in, we can become targets.
Alan Ferschweiler is president of the Portland Firefighters Association. He says concern among members over criminal attacks has increased in recent years.
Even if you look at the totality of the city, it's definitely become a less safe place to work for their firefighters. And there's no way to mix any words.
It's why last week, union leaders and fire management agreed that every Portland firefighter should get a ballistic vest, something designed to withstand a knife attack or a bullet.
Our chief cares about our members, and she does not want on her watch something like that to happen.
Portland Fire spokesperson Terry Foster says right now crews are getting fitted for the vests, which will be red and say medic. He says at this point it's unclear what the 200 vests will cost the city. They're also working on a policy outlining when firefighters would wear them.
For us, everything's about safety. So this is just another level of safety. You never know when it's going to happen, right?
In 2018, a man set fire to a home in Springfield, then began shooting at firefighters who responded. In 2019, Portland police say a man stabbed an AMR paramedic waiting at a red light during a carjacking.
And actually, I've been assaulted twice on duty, and it's just become more of a dangerous time for first responders throughout the country.
For that reason, other cities are taking action. The Seattle Fire Department's entire on-duty staff is equipped with ballistic vests and helmets. The San Francisco Fire Department tells us they too have issued ballistic vests to dedicated units. And while Portland Fire will soon have vests, that won't mean taking on additional risk. For example, when they respond to help a shooting victim.
I know that right now existing protocol mandates that Portland Fire and Rescue wait at a shooting scene until it's secure by Portland Police before going in. Does introducing bulletproof vests to firefighters change that?
That will not change that. We know where our lanes are, and until the police secure the scene, we will not send members in.
At the end of the day, union leaders say the vests will be something firefighters will have, but hope they won't need.
But unfortunately, it's another tool we'll put in the toolbox to make sure that our firefighters get home every day.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Now let's get you caught up with your other headlines tonight. Portland police arrested more than a dozen people in North Portland yesterday as part of a new crackdown on street racing. A new city ordinance passed last month allows officers to fine street racers, tow their cars, and carries a punishment of up to 30 days in jail. Portland police say at least 5 people have died as a result of street racing since June of last year. Oregon Treasurer Tobias Reed has announced he's running for governor. The Democrat has been treasurer since 2017. He said his campaign will focus on getting Oregonians vaccinated, as well as investing in education, job training, and clean energy. Reed was also a state representative for 10 years before becoming treasurer. A Washington state trooper who died from COVID was honored a day after his death. Trooper Eric Gunderson died at a Portland hospital over the weekend. Today, first responders escorted his remains from Oregon to a funeral home in Lakewood, Washington. He led the state patrol's drone fleet and would travel the country teaching law enforcement about the advantages of using drones. We've learned new information about a deadly train derailment in Montana over the weekend. It killed 3 people and injured dozens more. The train was heading to Portland and Seattle. Federal investigators say it could be months before they know what caused the train to derail. They said about 80 minutes before, a different train passed through that same area. They have footage from both trains and say the Amtrak train was going between 75 and 78 miles per hour when it derailed. The speed limit on that stretch is 79 miles an hour. One of the passengers on that train was 88-year-old Aubrey Green of Portland. He was on his way home when he says he heard a noise, then another, then suddenly the train car he was in flipped on its side.
When it broke, I heard some kind of a noise, and then boom. I mean, everything just, things were hitting, and I hit my shoulder, and there was 3 women that came one after the other right over the top of me, almost together.
Green said he walked out of there, as you can see there, with a scratch on his head.